Alrighty, welcome to our first episode of the interview that doesn't have a name just yet. Alright, I'm here with my boy Aaron Dupree, and today I'll be your host, Kofi Asari. And we're just going to get straight into the question. The first question for today is, so Aaron, can you just take us through your music making process?
Sure. So first thing I do, I open up my DAW, which is FL. It's like the music producing platform I use. First thing I do, I don't really go into it with an idea. I just go into it, pull up a piano, and just start playing stuff and see what comes to me creatively. And once I start playing with the keys and I find a note I like, I'll make that my bass line for my chord progression. So the first thing I do is make a chord progression for each of my songs. And they're usually about 4 or 8 bars long. After I complete my chord progression, I tweak it a little bit, make it sound how I want it. And next I move on to melodies. I make like 2 melodies for each song. So it's different, right? After my melodies, I make another bass line. Chord progression. It's the exact same chord progression, just probably with a different sound. After that, after I feel I'm good on those, I move into my drums. And after I finish my drums, I move into any other sounds or effects I want in my song, and then I do mixing. After mixing, I sometimes put vocals in them. Usually I keep those for myself, but some of my songs I have vocals in them. And after that, I do a final mixing, and that's it.
All right. Before I shouldn't even ask this one before, but it's like, what inspired you to start making music?
Start making music?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I was in like middle school, and I was just doing choir, right? Because someone said I had a good voice in choir. I was like, for real? That's cool. And I just kept doing choir and kept going with it. And then I remember my like 7th or 8th grade year, they were talking about building a school, which is Colgan. And they said you can go there for like all types of music, music tech, singing, band, all sorts of stuff. So my 8th grade year, I applied to go to Colgan because I was like, I'm kind of liking this, and people say I'm good at singing, so why not give it a shot? I applied for Colgan my freshman year for the vocal program, and I got in. And I didn't really get into the music tech part until my sophomore year because I had a requirement to meet, so I couldn't take that class to the second year, which is all cool. And I got in the class, and I started to learn how to make my own music from scratch. Mm-hmm. I also had all sorts of inspirations, of what to do, how to do. My freshman year, I remember there's these what do you call it? Music rooms or booths? We had a booth in there, and I would stay after school sometimes with a couple friends, and we sitting there playing on the piano, record some stuff, and I just took an interest to it. I was sitting there, I was liking the vibe, just vibing and stuff, and I was liking how it made me feel. So I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot. So my sophomore year, I took music tech, and I started diving more into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really it.
And so, like, I guess like a follow-up question to that is like, if you don't think if you were at Colgan, would you have been able to start music?
Music production, no, not really. If I probably would have kept singing and see where that took me. But if I didn't go to Colgan, I probably wouldn't have found my interest in like making actual music until like later on in life. Like, if say I just went to a different school, I probably wouldn't start taking interest like making music until like now. But because I went to Colgan, I took interest in it a little bit sooner.
Right, this is kind of like a follow-up question to that as well. So just like the skills besides like, the basics of making music, is there any skills that you like, this right here is probably like puts me over the edge compared to other people when it comes to making music?
You don't really necessarily need skill. I mean, learning a little bit of music theory could help you. It's not going to give you a huge advantage over anything, but learning a little bit of music theory could really it could make you take your music farther. Okay, because you can't just click random notes all the time and hope it works. you got to learn a little bit of music theory and how music actually fits together to make it your song.
So do you think like being at Kogan, if it wasn't for Kogan, I already asked this question, but like if it wasn't for Kogan, do you think those skills would have developed as well, or do you think like you just would have learned it online?
Nah, because I went to Kogan is why my skills have developed as well. It really comes down to like my choir teacher, my old choir teacher, Miss Stenson.
Mm-hmm.
She taught me a lot about music theory, even just taking choir, just how music works. Because before middle school, I was just singing pieces or handed out to me. Knew a little bit of what I was doing, but not really. Thanks to Miss Stenson, I learned a lot. And then I joined Music Tech, and Mr. Mills taught me a lot more.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think this is going to be our last question for today. Is there any plans to make music following high school?
Like as a career?
Even just as a career or just like for fun or just like anything in general following music?
Oh, most definitely. I keep doing it for fun. As a career, I'm not so sure. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what path to take following high school, whether it be music or any of my other interests. But I definitely keep doing it for fun because I enjoy it. And it's kind of like it helps me clarify all my thoughts and all that stuff. It just helps me collect myself. So I definitely keep doing it.
All right, well, guys, thank you for tuning in to our first or second, I don't know how they're going to do this, episode of an interview that doesn't have a name yet. All right, I want to thank you again for my boy Aaron Dupree for popping out. I'm your host, and yeah, thank you.